Sorry, I'm just getting everything set up on my side. Yeah, recording software was being a little weird for a second. So today we are listening to a royalty-free Kings radio on SoundCloud, and just cycling through what they have in the background as we go through the win condition tutorial here on ToadNet's Game Academy. And the pause there is because I was catching a bit of cat fluff floating right in front of my eyes. Okay, so to me this platform seems a little wide, so what we're going to do here is we're going to select our platform, hit R, and scale it in. Okay. And then Control C, Control V to copy and paste, and W to set up movement. And I'm just going to do this a couple times. So we've got a little bit of a track to play with, so that we can actually accomplish something, or feel like we've accomplished something, by getting to the win condition. And just shift selecting there. Okay, let's see if that is playable. Yep, that is completely doable. Okay. And then now I am going to set up a couple of boxes. And then I'm going to reset that to defaults. And R to scale. And set them up as like little hurdle cubes. And again, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And just making a very quick little course for us to complete. Because you gotta feel like we are actually winning something when we trigger our win. Okay. So here we go. Let's try that. So I can run, and I can... Oh, can't jump over the second one. So make sure everything is winnable real quick with your test setup. Come on, get up and over and up, and there we go. Okay. So, let's make our win zone. So, back under our hierarchy here, we're going to go over to Actors. And we are going to make a new folder again and call this one Zones. And we are going to double click to open. We're going to right click again and Blueprint Class. And we are going to make an actor. This does not have to have any sort of special properties. Give me very basic. And we're going to call this one Zone _ Win. Come on, get in the center of the screen, something like that. Cool. We are then going to, and let me just switch this way here for us. We're then going to add a new component. We are going to add a box collision. And calling it box is fine. So with that box collision, I'm going to leave it exactly how it is there, because we can always scale it out in the world. And now with our event graph, I'm going to come over here, delete everything, and select our box collision. Now when we select that, it's going to give us a bunch of interesting little triggers here to the side. So we've got when a component hits it, when a component overlaps it, and so on and so forth. What we want to do is on begin overlap. And I like to have everything nice and pretty, so I'm lining it up to the corners there, and a compile and save. So when something overlaps this box, we can get what's overlapping and then do something. So when something overlaps, we're going to take the other actor, and we are going to see if it's the character. So we could see if it equals the character, or we can just try casting to character class. cast to character, on character. And then right click, straighten that up. And then if whatever overlaps this is a pawn character, then it will continue. And what we want to do is then at that point, print string win. Yay, we win. If we close that off, we can come down to the end of our map, pull out our zone, and then I want to center that on the y-axis, so the green axis here corresponding to y. Perfect. And then I'm going to hit R to scale, just in case something bumps our character off of its path. We can do that. So when I start the simulation, or start the play, when I hit here, watch up in the corner of the new window. When we trigger that box, it should say win in our corner with that print screen. We're going to play, we're going to jump over the box, we're going to jump over the box, we're going to jump, we're going to jump, we're going to jump again, and we win. But we got 2 wins. So what do we want to do for that? What we want to do for that is go back to our player, get to our viewport so everything's easy to see and select. You can do it from here, but it's much easier when you can actually see what you're working with. We want to click on our cube. Okay? And with our cube selected, this generate overlap events we can turn off. Okay, so we want to just take generate overlap events and turn that off. And then again, we can compile and save. Oop. I think we actually made him a bit too fast. So I'm going to go back to character movement and turn his movement speed back down to 600. That's just under character movement walking, and set his max speed to 600. There we go. And now we only trigger win once. We can also, instead of fixing this problem, which is probably the correct way to do it, we do not need all the subparts of our character generating extra events for us. But if we didn't want to do that, we could, in our zone, come off here and say, do once. And then anything that happens afterwards, it would only do once. So that is a very useful node. So, well, that's it. Our win condition set up. But all it's doing is saying that we're winning. So what can we do to actually make that a bit more functional as a game? So here we're going to introduce a new actor class. So under blueprints, we are going to create another new folder. And we are going to call this modes and controllers. I keep them all together. Okay, and in modes and controllers, we want to right click, have a new blueprint class, and now we're going to tick this all classes arrow. And from the all classes, we're going to start typing in game mode. Right there. And we're going to call this GM for game mode. Run. And in our GM game mode, we're going to go to its event graph. We don't need any of that current stuff right now, and we're going to right click, and we are going to type in custom. We can add a custom event. And this custom event we are going to call win. Custom events fail. And what else would make sense to set up right now? I think that's about it. So the fail's going to go unused for now. We'll take care of that in another video. We're just going to worry about our win custom event. And what we're going to do with that is we are going to open level. And this lets us load in a level. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to just reload this level. So we've got a looping thing. Once we get to the end, it goes back to this. So we've got map_test. So map_test. And compile and save. So now, if we can get to the end of our level, it does nothing because I haven't set this bit up yet, of course. So, our game mode, so again, if we go under modes and controllers, game mode run, that is what will be always running in the background. The game mode is kind of the underlying basis to whatever map is currently loaded. Okay? So, with our game mode here, we're now going to have to actually set it up to be that underlying class. So we're going to go over to Edit and Project Settings. Sorry. Got to scale the window for you all. So Edit and Project Settings. Wait for that to open. And then here under Maps and Modes. Right here, we want to change this to the game mode we just made, GM Run. And this will become the default game mode. Whenever we make a new map, this is now going to be what that map is based off of. And then if we tick the little box here, we can now see default pawn. So what is the default player character that's going to be there? The controller and so on and so forth. For our default pawn, we want to set this up as pawn_character. So our character that we made earlier. Okay. Cool. And now we can close this. And now if we look at blueprints here, our game mode is GM Run. So perfect. That's exactly how we want it. And now we can open this, compile, save, and close game mode run again. And now we want to go back to our zones. So to our win zone, we can delete our win tag because we're no longer needing that. So with coming off of here, so when a player character starts overlapping our win zone, we want to right click down here, get game mode. And then cast to GM_run, cast to our game mode, make sure it's talking to that game mode. And then as _run, we are going to trigger win. So again, when our player starts overlapping the win zone, we're going to check that it actually is a player, then talk to our game mode, so get our game mode and make sure it's the one we want to talk to, and then tell it to let us win. And if we go back to our game mode, when we win, we're going to open a level. So this should reload our running level. Let's play our game. Look at that. It reloads our level. So this would technically be an infinite runner. Every time you get to the end, it just reloops. and you can never get out of it, and that is that. Anywho, that is a little bit of blueprint communication for y'all. Casting to another actor, so let's again go through a little recap of what we've done. What is this? Really? You're gonna do that right now? Just snooze that alarm. Okay. So we quickly set up a little test area. Don't spend much time on that. We're gonna go into the level building later. Okay. We then created a new bit to our hierarchy and a new class for a zone_win. And that was a collision box. And again, when we hit collision box, or we click our collision box there, or down here, it gives us these options, and we used onComponent to begin overlap. So when something's overlapping it, we're going to make sure it's the character. We're going to talk to the master game mode, the basis of everything, and tell it that we want to win. And then in our game mode, when we win, or have been told we want to win, we open the level again. So this is something that we're going to replace in the future, but it gets us the basis of doing this bit here. And that's where we're going to call it quits for tonight. Thank you again for watching. Not another thing, but again, I want to reiterate, as I mentioned this in the first video, if we get 50 views on the first 3 portions of this tutorial series for the runner game, sorry, just had a little bit of a burp in me there. If we get 50 views on the first 3 sections, I will make the stretch video at the end of the series to provide a more interesting movement component to our character. Okay, so let everybody know if you've got anybody interested in building a bit of games, getting into a bit of game building, whatever. If they want to build games, let them know. If we get 50 views on the first 3 videos, I will then go into a more advanced player movement for our runner game. So thank you again for watching. Please, if you've liked the video, hit like. If you wish to be informed when the next video in the series comes up, or any of the other fun content I do here, please hit subscribe and the little notification bell. Otherwise, until next time, hope you're all having a great night. Goodbye for now.